News 25 is brought to you by Dr. George Leeks, Pahrumps optometrist since 1990, offering full spectrum eye care for children and adults. Call today, 727-8300. News is also brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
A fire breaks out in an elderly couple's home, and an update on last Wednesday's shooting involving an officer. News 25 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
A fire that broke out in a home renders an elderly couple almost helpless. It's Monday, March 30th. I'm Ronda Van Winkle for News 25. The Red Cross is assisting an elderly couple whose Pahrump home was destroyed by fire over the weekend.
Firefighters were called to the home on Old Spanish Trail near Turner Boulevard around 5:30 Saturday evening. Flames were visible when Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue arrived on scene, and the fire spread quickly. The home is considered a total loss. Fire Chief Scott Lewis says the cause is undetermined, but he says it appears to be accidental in nature, possibly the result of an electrical issue or wood-burning stove. Deputies with the Nye County Sheriff's Office were also on scene to assist with traffic control. No injuries were reported.
The Nye County Sheriff's Office has released new details of the shooting last Wednesday at a home in Pahrump. One detective was shot multiple times. Another detective shot and killed the suspect.
It all started with the report of a stabbing at a home on Surrey Lane. The suspect in that stabbing was identified as 19-year-old Matthew Moore. The investigation revealed Moore had tried to rob the victim of the belt he was wearing, and during the robbery attempt, Moore cut the victim's neck with the knife. The sheriff's office says a records check indicated Moore had a violent history with law enforcement, to include a past prior arrest for robbery. Deputies then learned Moore lived at a home on Warehouse Road. Nye County Sheriff's Office detectives Brian Cooper and Logan Gibbs went to that home to interview Moore about his involvement in the attempted robbery on Surrey Lane. Cooper knocked on the front door. Gibbs positioned himself near the northeast corner of the home. Moore's mom answered the door and told Cooper she needed to put the dogs away and would be right back. She returned a few seconds later and opened the door. As she approached Detective Cooper to speak with him, Moore ran up behind his mom and fired the shotgun over her shoulder. 2 rounds struck Detective Cooper, but his ballistic vest was effective at stopping those shots. Moore then fired a 3rd round, striking Cooper. Sheriff Sharon Worley says Cooper was able to fire 2 rounds at Moore, but they were ineffective at stopping him. During the exchange, Cooper fell onto his back on the ground. Moore then stood over Cooper and fired a 4th round point blank at the detective. The sheriff says Moore racked a 5th round and prepared to execute Detective Cooper, but before he could pull the trigger, Detective Gibbs engaged Moore, firing 13 rounds from his handgun. Moore was struck approximately 12 times. The entire exchange of gunfire lasted just 10 seconds. It was all captured by the officer's body-worn cameras and by a security camera at a home across the street. It's intense, and a warning, you may find the images disturbing.
Sorry.
Hello.
Shots fired! Shots fired! Officer down! Stay down, Cooper. Stay down. Stay down. Easy, easy.
The Sheriff's Office investigation identified that Moore had made several anti-law enforcement posts on social media, one which seemed to advocate for shooting an officer during a traffic stop. Another showed Moore firing a shotgun at a pile of rubbish in much the same way police say he fired upon Detective Cooper.
Detective Cooper is in stable condition at University Medical Center where he's recovering. Detective Gibbs is on paid leave pursuant to Nye County Sheriff's Office standard protocol, and Mr. Moore's mother, who was also a victim, is was extremely cooperative through this investigation. As you listen to his body-worn camera, you hear her beg Moore to stop advancing on Detective Cooper. Our thoughts and prayers are with her and her family during this trying time.
And that goes for our staff here at KPVM also. We are very sorry for everyone who was involved that night. The Nye County Sheriff's Office is asking for help as they investigate the death of a woman who had been missing since last week.
55-year-old Delia de la Cruz Valdivinos was last seen at Nevada Treasure RV Resort last Wednesday evening. Family members had reported her missing and were asking for help in finding her through social media. Saturday, deputies found her body inside a car on Highway 160 near Roadrunner Road, just 2.5 miles from where she was last seen alive. Authorities found de la Cruz Valdivinos in the driver's seat and say it appears she'd been shot in the chest. While processing the scene, detectives also found 2 pistols inside the vehicle. The Nye County Sheriff's Office is asking anyone with information about her death to contact them. You can call 775-751-7000 or email them at sheriff@co.nye.nv.us.
We'll be right back after this break. Thank you.
You're watching KPVM News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Welcome back to News 25. The availability of testing for the coronavirus has been limited since the start of the pandemic, but a new partnership is making testing more accessible to the people of Nye County.
Chemisys Laboratory, through Serenity Health, has partnered with the Nye County Sheriff's Office and Nye County to provide drive-up COVID-19 testing in Pahrump, Beatty, and Tonopah. In Pahrump, the coronavirus testing will be available at the Nye County Administrative Offices located at 2100 East Walt Williams Drive. You can drive up for a test tomorrow, Tuesday, March 31st, from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., and again Wednesday, April 1st, from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. In Beatty, you can get the test at the Beatty Justice Court at 426 C Avenue on Thursday, April 2nd, from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. And in Tonopah, coronavirus testing is available at the Tonopah Justice Court at 101 Radar Road, Thursday, April 2nd, from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. All testing is first come, first serve, and organizers say if you don't have symptoms, the COVID-19 test cannot be administered. However, other respiratory infections, including the flu, will be treated. As mentioned, this is a drive-up event. You must stay in your car. To expedite the process, bring a copy of your ID and insurance card on the same page with your phone number. The test itself involves a swab of your nasal cavity and takes about 5 to 7 minutes.
On Sunday, Governor Steve Sisolak announced a statewide eviction policy which will be applied during the duration of the statewide emergency. He declared that it is not the time to put people on the streets or evict small business owners who have been hurt by all this downfall. This moratorium on evictions applies to both residential and commercial tenants, but landlords can still evict dangerous tenants that pose a threat to others or their properties. This does not absolve them from owing rent and or a mortgage. For more information, you can visit Nevada Health Response website. Experts believe COVID-19 has been circulating in the U.S. for a few weeks now, and every day doctors learn more about the virus. Dr. Frank Esper, an infectious disease specialist at Cleveland Clinic Children's, says we're starting to notice differences from cases reported overseas.
Where we're seeing how infectious this virus can be, how this virus really affects older people. Difference is that we're seeing a lot more younger people also with this infection.
According to a recent CDC analysis, everyone is at risk for COVID-19. Dr. Esper says younger adults can get severe infection too, but not nearly as often as older people. We're also learning more about how the virus is transmitted through respiratory droplets that hang in the air after coughing and sneezing.
Anybody within that 3 to 6 foot radius can then get it on them and they can become infected. We believe that that is the primary way that this virus is transmitting from person to person. We're still figuring out whether or not tabletops and doorknobs and things like that can transmit.
Scientists also believe COVID-19 has mutated, but the strains they've discovered are all about the same, according to Dr. Esper. He says virus mutation is common.
The virus itself is still mutating. It's still changing a little bit. Strains, as you go from place to place, from China to Italy to the United States, may change to the point where you actually see a more predominant strain in one country than in another. But we haven't seen a substantial divergence of this virus into two separate entities.
Dr. Esper says on average, every COVID-19 infection transmits the virus to 2 or 3 other people, causing cases to double very quickly. That's why separating yourself from others is effective and important to stop the spread of the virus.
While many of us struggle to find certain products in the stores these days, we may also find it difficult to find items necessary for the care of our animals. Shadow Mountain Feed wants to remind Pahrump Valley residents that they remain open with food and supplies on hand for your pets and farm animals.
We have food here for any animal from an aardvark to a zebra. We have hay for all of your animals. We're out of hay yesterday. We got more hay in today. If we're out of hay one day, we will have it the next day. We are getting regular shipments all the time. We also have bagged feed for all of your animals. We're getting more bagged feed in. We've got twice as much bagged feed coming as normal, and we're doing whatever we can to help the people keep their animals full and safe. We're at the corner of Bell Vista and Leslie. It's 2031 West Bell Vista. And our telephone number is 775-727-5527. We have baby chicks on hand almost all the time. They are going crazy with them too. But we are ordering more baby chicks all of the time, and we have a great supply. Talk to Patty and you can special order any breed that you like.
The best way is to call me and I'll put you on a list and I'll save them.
Ron and Patty, such great people at Shadow Mountain Feed. We thank you so much for your time. Well, we'll be right back with more right after this break. Stay with us.
This segment of the news is brought to you by Mountain West Lawyers, Nye County's injury attorneys. Don't get bullied by insurance companies. Call Jason Ernest and bully them back at 775-727-9500.
Welcome back to News 25. Pahrump is now home to a newly published author. Some of you may know her as Marie Toland, KPVM's marketing director, or as she's known in the literary world, Ann Nelson. I had the pleasure of sitting down with Marie to talk about her new book.
It's all in a daydream, and I wrote it using my middle name and my maiden name, so it's under Ann Nelson.
Okay, and that's good to know because so many of us know you in town as Marie Toland.
Exactly, right.
Yes.
It's a long story why I picked it, but in why I did it was my mom loved the name Ann, so she named my middle name, and so I did it. I lost her in 2016, but so yeah, I decided to use Ann Nelson as the name I'd use for writing. When I was in 9th grade, I got a story published, and I wanted to be a writer. But you know how life just tends to go its own way, and it sort of took me away from that. And so, yeah, for about 30 years, the longest thing I wrote was 60 seconds. So,
a commercial ad, right?
Pretty much a commercial ad. Yeah, exactly.
But you're so good at it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. You know, it let me be creative, which I really like to do. But about a year and a half ago, I had a chance to refocus and try and write a book, and I did it sort of as therapy after having my bad year, and then but yeah, so All in a Daydream came to be. It's a romantic fantasy with a little bit of adult content, but yeah, and Pegasus Publishing actually wanted to publish it, and I was thrilled. So yeah.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, that's a really big deal. A lot of people don't realize how hard that is to have done.
I've never been so giddy as when the book arrived yesterday, and Amazon, it's available on Amazon.com right now, and Pinterest, I think, has it as well. So yeah, I'm really excited.
Give us just a little synopsis about the book. I mean, I know you just said that it's like adult contemporary, so we just do want to make it clear that it's an adult book.
It is an adult book. It has some content that probably isn't for teens, because it is romance. So again, there's that little S word, sex. So anyway, basically, Becca's in her 50s. She's just lost her husband, which wasn't a very happy marriage, and unexpectedly, she meets a man a few years younger who just sweeps her off her feet and says, I want to take you to Alaska on a cruise. Come with me. And she does. And they fall in love on the cruise, and she gets to discover the beauty of Alaska. And so I got to bring in my second home, which I was in Alaska for 24 years. So I got to talk about all the places I loved in Alaska. And so it has a little bit of romance and a little bit of history and just a little bit of traveling, information. If you ever want to go to Alaska, I listed a few things to do.
Okay, so I'm only on page 42 so far, so I haven't gotten too far into the book, but so far it's great, so it gives you something to do while you might be off work. Well, as Marie mentioned, you can order the book now from Amazon by paperback, and since the time I sat down with her, it's now available by Amazon digitally. So you can also order through Barnes & Noble, which is the paperback, and you can go directly to the publisher's website at pegasuspublishers.com. In today's Save a Pet, we meet Olivia, a 1-year-old dog hoping to find her forever home. Darby O'Donnell is at Desert Haven Animal Society with her story.
Today's Save a Pet is proudly sponsored by Jason Ernest with Mountain West Lawyers. Call 775-727-9500.
Hi, I'm Darby here at Desert Haven Animal Society, and today we are joined with Olivia. Olivia is a 1-year-old American Staffordshire Terrier mix. She is all black with a little bit of white on her chest. That kind of reminds me of a Labrador mix. She is really compact and little, she's like a weird medium, small size. She's a schmedium. She is super sweet, has a very loving personality. She did just get out of the hold because she was a stray. So she is kind of still roaming up to the yard a little bit. So if you want to come and visit her, definitely spend at least 15 minutes in the yard with her. Desert Haven is still accepting visitations for animals during this time. They're just asking you to please make an appointment ahead of time. So give them a call, 775-751-7020. They're on Surrey Lane behind the Nye County Courthouse, and you can always look them up on their Facebook page at Desert Haven Animal Society. Bye, Olivia. Such a good girl.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
And now taking a look outside at the Lerner and Rowe weather camera. And it's clear skies, so we will have more with your weather with Michael Donahue when we return.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hello and welcome back to News 25. I'm Michael Donahue with today's weather. In Las Vegas, we had a high of 59 degrees, a low of 49, 84, a low of 60 in Death Valley, 69, a low of 44 in Amargosa, 66, 41 in Beatty, 57, a low of 30 in Goldfield, 60, 33 over in Tonopah, 55, 39 in Carson City, 62, 35 in Fallon, and finally up in Fernley, 59, their low is 39 degrees. Now today in Pahrump, we saw some nice sunny skies. Our high today was 69 degrees. Winds coming out of the northwest up to 3 miles per hour. Humidity at 26% and 6:31 this morning for our sunrise. Now tonight, we're going to continue on with some clear skies. Our low is going to be 46 degrees. Winds coming out of the southeast up to 6 miles per hour. 43% for that humidity, and our sunset at about 7:05 tonight. Now looking into that 7-day, we're going to see some more sunny skies tomorrow. Then we do have some clouds rolling in, but not too much. Still going to be seeing those mostly sunny skies all through Sunday with some more clouds rolling in Monday and a 30% chance of rain. Also this weekend, we do have some more high winds coming in, up to 10 miles per hour on Saturday and 16 miles per hour on Sunday. Now, temperature-wise, from Tuesday to Friday, we're going to be hanging out in those 50s, just between 53 and 59 degrees. We're going to slide up just a little bit into those low 60s over the weekend, just between 60 and 63 from Saturday to Monday. Now, our overnights on Tuesday and Wednesday, we're going to be seeing a low of 38 degrees. We're going to jump up to a low of 58 on Thursday. Then from Friday to next Monday, we're just going to be down in about those low 40s, just between 41 and 44 degrees there. And so now with that, we're going to throw it back to the desk with Rhonda.
Thank you, Michael. That does it for this edition of News 25. Remember, you can always catch us on Facebook at Local 411, and we will see you here again tomorrow night with our news. For News 25, I am Ronda Van Winkle.